Hi guys and welcome to Iron Man Lifestyle.
मेरा इंट्रो है.
Hey guys.
मेरा इंट्रो है.
Hi guys, welcome to Iron Man Lifestyle. This is Amish Aggarwala. I have taken over the YouTube platform. I've taken over the business. This is my thing now. So what do you want to talk about here? My good friend Kshitij Sehrawat.
खुद इंट्रो कर दिया तुमने.
Indeed.
So tell us who you are, Amish.
इतना तो तुम कर सकते हो. मतलब मैं अपने गुण गाऊं.
Okay, what's up, guys? Welcome to another video for Iron Man Lifestyle. We have one of the biggest lawyers in the country right now.
What's my name?
We have one of the biggest lawyers in the country
Forgot my
right
name.
now who is everywhere on the news channels, who just won the Sarvjeet Singh Bedi case. We have Amish Aggarwala, a lawyer from the Supreme Court and who is one of the most sought after ones, the names here in India, who's making videos for LinkedIn as well and going viral out there. हम 3 साल से बना रहे हैं, हमारी वीडियो कोई देख नहीं रहा है जितनी एक दिन में 20,000 views on LinkedIn. People are going crazy. So we got Amish out here, and if you guys do not know, Amish and I go long back. We sing praises of you, St. Columbus, scholars of Columbus, we dare to be wise, always sincere and constant we. So, we come from the same school. Amish was one batch senior to me, and we've known each other for almost 10-12 years now, right?
Pretty much,
Since school. And he's gone on to do really big things, and the case that he just did, all pro bono, no money charged, right? And just very, very good things that, people, my Colombians are doing, our friends are doing. So I thought we could bring in Amish on the channel and help teach us about what are the things going on in the world right now, how we can protect ourselves when it comes to dating or getting married to someone, or, while even approaching people, or anything that we can learn from the recent Sarvjeet Singh Bedi case and that can help us out. So let's begin this video. Let's go. Welcome back, guys. So Amish, the stage is yours. Firstly, tell me, what was the whole Sarvjeet Singh Bedi case and why is it important for us to know about that?
Alright, so the Sarvjeet Singh case is really important because it highlights the way that laws which are available for the protection of certain sections of society are misused by those very people for whom they were created by the Indian government.
What was the case that really, hua kya tha? If we go down the scene of events that happened and then what led to it and why it's been one of the biggest cases right now, because it's been going on for like 3-4 years, and at that time there was a huge uproar and then there was a misunderstanding, there were media trials happening, which is just fucking stupid. And then after that, now when things have come to the forefront, everyone is taking Sarvjeet's side. Jabki pehle sab usko media trials mein dal rahe the and everybody was against him.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So this case is important because it kind of shows the entire way, things are dealt with in the Indian criminal justice system. Not just because of the incident that happened at that point of time, but also subsequent things that happened inside the courtroom as well. Now, what had actually happened with Sarvjeet was that he was on his bike at this particular red light, which was like a 4-way intersection.
Tilak Nagar.
Yes, Tilak Nagar, where he was about to take a left turn on a red light. This lady comes, says to the entire traffic, not just him, to the entire traffic out there trying to take a left, that you cannot take this left if there's a red light right now. Sarvjeet says the left turn is free even at this red light, and that is why I can take this left turn. The girl, on the other hand, says, no, you cannot, and I will not let you do it. Sarvjeet says, I'll do what I want to, you do what you want to do.
Right.
To that, the girl takes his picture, puts it up on social media, puts out very vague words such as, he harassed me. Did not even say sexually harassed, which is an offense, I mean, for me to come and say, Kshitij, you are stupid. That's also harassment.
That's also harassment.
But that is not a punishable offense under the Indian Penal Code. Right?
Okay, so what is that? Like, can I still be like, you called me stupid, you're not allowed to do that?
No,
but are you allowed to do that?
There are a lot of things in society that will be considered inappropriate, right? Me, for example, me picking my nose on camera right now.
So that could be, like someone could be like, he's harassing me.
Exactly.
Alright.
I mean, I'm harassing all of you people out there who have immense offense as someone picking his nose on camera. But that does not make it illegal, right? So similarly, in this particular situation, one might say,
it can be looked down upon, and mostly what happens is things, even if they're illegal or not, people are just like, I don't like it. And this is something that we've been seeing a lot, that because I don't like this thing, so he harassed me or he did this to me, that hurt my feelings and sentiments. I mean, with like certain sections of the society, a lot of things happen that they hurt our sentiments and everything. Does that makes sense? Because anything that you say will hurt someone else's sentiments, and that comes under freedom of speech and expression, right?
Absolutely. The Constitution guarantees us. It has been a fundamental right of almost all human beings since the past 1 century. Everywhere you go, there will always be cultural, gender, all sorts of differences The rich and the poor, the men and women,
Right.
adults and children, there will always be disparity. Even regional wise,
Right.
I living in, maybe 15 kilometers or 20 kilometers away from you will have a complete different set of values. But that does not mean that we are going to try and suppress the other person.
Just the mere fact of all these things happening and people feeling so entitled that they can do it, that's what creates more harassment, right?
Indeed. I have always maintained that it is not just with protection
Yeah.
of women, also any other law which unfairly gives certain powers to one section over another section will always be misused. Another prime example is the Scheduled Caste, Scheduled Tribe Act.
Okay.
Where it says that if a person of Scheduled Caste, Scheduled Tribe just goes and says to the police, this particular XYZ person who belongs to a general category called me SC/ST word.
Yeah, a racial
he'll be
slur.
thrown in- No, not even racial slur.
An SC/ST word.
SC/ST
Okay.
word. Just
Right.
an SC/ST word.
He'll be
And
thrown
what
in.
is included in SC/ST word? A lot of times there have been complaints where a person goes and says, "Isne mujhko chamar bulaya," right?
Right.
Could be a joke, could be maybe just like, an harmless, without any ill intention, innuendo, right? Person goes and says this to the police, and you know what? 99% of the times, it does not even happen that these words were said. But because the person knows that I belong to this particular formerly oppressed section of society,
Yeah.
I am going to go to the police now, going to say this, and I'll have them arrested.
Right. With this thing, the main thing is that, you having a negative connotation to the word. Now the thing is, मेरे एक दोस्त है, ठीक है, from school, and he's northeastern, so he's got those squinty eyes and everything.
Yeah.
And he was telling me about this one time, this dude called him Chinky and he got in a fight with him. So I was like, यार बहनचोद तेरे को हम तो पूरे time बुलाते रहते हैं. We call you Chinky and everything.
Yeah.
What is the problem with that? So he's like, bro, yaar, the thing is, it's the way you say it. So like the way हम लोग joke कर रहे हैं, that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just like you describing me like that. That's my nickname.
Yeah.
But that guy said it with intention of malice. और उसकी इंटेंशन ही नेगेटिव थे एंड ही वांटेड टू पुट मी डाउन सो देन इट्स लाइक लाइक व्हेन यू से समवन की ए बहनचोद मोटे निकल यहाँ से वर्सेस मी बीइंग लाइक अमीश मोटे कैसा है right so the two things about that so I think that's what makes more sense where it needs to be punishable by the offense when you're degrading someone on something like if we go to racial discrimination of blacks and whites also you cannot
Yeah.
call someone certain n-word because that is bad but sometimes like when you're joking around with someone you might just do that but वो बाहर तो ज़्यादा ही serious
The
है right
question then becomes, at what point of time do you draw
the
a
line.
So, that's always going to be...
exactly, but the better thing is to not indulge in all these things, na?
Indeed.
So,
The
it's like
better-
not to call
Yes,
all
the
these
better
things.
way to go about it is to actually utilize the provision of law that is available to you
ठीक है.
only when you actually are
Right.
aggrieved. But that is more a question of self-restraint
Right.
rather than us having a debate about, what can we as a society move together towards.
So basically, उसमें वो भी like there's one huge thing which is how much of I accept myself and how much of I feel like so there's one thing called projection which I talk about in inner child dealing. So projection is basically let's say I come from a Jat background. तूने मेरे को बोला ओए साले Jat, right? Or you call me Jat. Now if in my mind I have had problems in the past where people think Jat is a negative word and I believe that. So if you call me that, I'm going to pick a fight with you. But if in my mind I believe that's a positive thing, then I will not be picking a fight with you. Basically, I'm projecting something that happened in the past. You might not have said anything like that. You had no intention like that. So that is coming out and coming on to you. One prime example of this happens with like the lines that women say that all men are the same. Okay, you're the same because she's had a negative experience with some guy in the past. And वो ऐसे होगा. Similarly with men are like all women are hoes and they're sluts. They're going to cheat on me. That's again a prime example of a projection. Basically, something that happened in the past with some other person, you're projecting that same image and the same experience and expectation to the other person and imagining that he's going to do the same, while you're not realizing that those two things are very different. So I think उसकी वजह से काफी सारा होता है. So tell me about this Sarvjeet case. What can we learn from that? And what I know about the case is that a lot of shaming happened to Sarvjeet. A lot of the news channels came up to him and told him that you're a rapist. He had been given some nicknames like Dilli ka Darinda, right?
Darinda, yes.
And with him not doing anything. So that brings a lot of harassment and then that made him lose his job. That made him, like he was the sole breadwinner of his family. That created a lot of problems with him. He must have had EMIs and everything going for him. He had to take care of his sister and his mother and everyone. On top of that, the shame that you get from the society, everybody calling you negative things, where usse pehle nothing has really happened and you can't really do anything. फिर इतना सारा वो harassment लेके करना, so that's something like really bad. And I mean, what can we learn from that?
Indeed, the man has suffered nothing less than hell.
Yeah.
But one of the things that he perhaps could have done on an earlier occasion was again because he did not get adequate legal guidance, right?
Right.
If he would have gone, I mean, he went to the investigating officer in the case with all the evidence that he had collected for himself. But the mistake that he did was when the investigating officer did nothing about it, he just sat on it and did nothing. And he waited for his time in court to come.
Okay.
And even when that happened, the lawyer that Sarvjeet had previously engaged did nothing, cross-examined the girl on no aspect, none of the witnesses collected by Sarvjeet, and left him in a very, very bad situation.
Right.
One thing that every person I say, as an accused in a criminal case, especially if it is a false case levied against you, I always tell them, collect all the evidence that you can and move the court, move the police, show the police that you're an active participant in this whole process. Right?
Fight for yourself.
Indeed.
Right.
Don't be a silent spectator and just watch everything happen against you, because a lot of lawyers will tell you that there is nothing to be done. You have to wait for the charge sheet to be filed in the court, for the prosecution witnesses to come, and only then will, at the time of their cross-examination, will you be able to do anything about your case.
Right.
That is not correct. There are provisions in the law which allow you to hound the police, to hound the court, run around the court, pointing fingers at the police as to what kind of misinformation or bad management of the information given by you as an accused is being given to the police. They're not doing anything about it. You can go and complain about this to the court of law. The magistrate will summon the officers, wherein they will have to say as to...
They'll be answerable.
They'll be answerable, right? The whole problem is that, in the Indian justice system, police take it for granted that they have a free hand with whatever they want to do.
Right.
It is only at the time of trial, which happens several years later, that the accused comes, a lot of these discrepancies come out, and at that point of time the accused is very happy in saying, "Acha bhai, mera acquittal ho gaya. I am happy enough with that. I do not want to go into the bad way the investigation was dealt with."
Right.
That is, in turn, just helping me out right now.
Yeah.
But especially in a false case, when you have a lot of evidence which will crop up.
So with evidence, I mean, when you're dealing with the police, we can have voice recordings of our every interaction with the police, with anybody that we're talking to. And at the same time, like the news clippings that you were talking about, collecting all those news clippings that Sarvjeet had, that helped make a very good point on his side. And because the thing is, as the time passes, all this evidence, like, it becomes very difficult to retrieve all of that.
Absolutely.
Right. All these things, like, the more we can do that, the better it's going to be.
Absolutely. Try to record every conversation. Now, a small tip on this audio conversation recording part is, if you actually go to the police officer and you try to give him your evidence and you try to record that conversation, police officers are also very smart nowadays.
Right.
They understand that there are, a few of these people who will record every conversation anyways. So, for that also, it is better that you not just carry your cell phone, because a lot of times they'll make you keep your cell phone outside of the room where they're dealing with you. Instead, carry with you these small little audio recording devices, which cost no more than say 1,000, 1,500 rupees.
Right. So audio recording devices in jeb mein rakh lo.
Absolutely. So keep it in your pocket and let the conversation flow. You will have these idiots talk so much nonsense, right? And when you go before a magistrate, because these people very afraid of judges, very afraid of courts of law, because that is the only place where they are answerable, where there are some repercussions.
But can't we be like, "Hello sir, let's talk, but I'm going to record this conversation here"?
So what the person is going to do is, he's going to scream and shout at you, he's going to take your phone and he's going to keep it outside.
No, why can't you be like, "Ki main yahan pe hu and everything is being recorded. Let's talk about it."
You can
like
say
like
that.
if I come in like this, that, "Hi, hello sir, I'm going to record this conversation and let's हमारे case का क्या चल रहा है, and this is the evidence that is filed under constitutional rights. I have the right to record this conversation, which I'm going to be doing right now. So let's go ahead with that."
It is completely legal for you to do so.
Right.
There is no bar to that. But what will happen practically in the police station is, like, first they'll be nice to you. Then they will start hurling abuses. Then if it still gets rough, they'll pick up your phone and throw it out. They'll chuck it out of the room.
Achha.
And what will you do about it? Right? Who will you call? You call up the police.
Okay, got it. So anytime you're stuck in something like this, you got to do. You got to be doing all this stuff. Audio recordings. Let's move on to the point between, let's say I'm dating a girl, and then, like, what are the problems that happen? It's like, tell me more about, like, you must have, since you're a criminal lawyer, you must have worked with more men who are on the receiving end of the unjust system, where the laws are not
so many of them
enforced.
Many of them.
But at the same time, I don't want this, which will make everybody paranoid watching the video, and I don't want to create any sort of victim mentality where we feel bad that we're men and the law is not in our favor, how things go against us. Because I mean, these things happen, but the more you think about it, the more it's gonna happen. It's not 100% surety that this will happen. So even when something has not happened, I don't want people to feel like this might happen and then live in fear and anxiety all their life. So, like, very practically, not being a victim, but not crying, not being a victim, and at the same time being very practical with this, not being paranoid as well, that something might happen. So give me some things about how, what are the things happening against, like, just people in general, and which is just unjust.
All right, the kind of stories that I have heard, of course, as you said, with the caveat that it doesn't happen to everybody.
Right.
There are these certain bad examples which the possibility of it happening to you or to me are very, very slim, right?
Okay.
But I'll leave aside those extremely bad cases where, the possibility is just like very, very low. But, some things that do happen with men a lot of times.
We'll talk about the male-female relationship because that's what mainly our channel is about. Personal development, social skills and dating. We'll keep it with like a boyfriend-girlfriend thing or maybe
so even when it comes to male-females, there are several dynamics to it, right? There is, of course, Sarvjeet and the lovely lady who they have no relation with.
Right.
And, still they end up in this like crazy love romance where, she files a case against him. He goes running around in courts, and faces all of these allegations.
Right.
There are those kind of relationships. There are also those kind of relationships such as a boyfriend-girlfriend or a husband-wife, right? Or, father-in-law and daughter-in-law.
Right.
Where all sorts of criminal cases keep happening between all of these people. Another category, in fact.
ये इन्होंने ना porn अब समझ लिया father in law daughter in law ये देख father in law daughter in law दिमाग चल गए लोगों के गेम चल रहा है
that's exactly what the allegation is, right?
अच्छा that's the allegation
my father-in-law did this to me. I mean what can we say about
which
that?
might be true also because people do that yaar.
You know what, like I'll tell you what, when it comes to like these matrimonial like disputes and these criminal cases, right? I always tell people like all these cases that come my way, right? I mean, I have barely maybe represented maybe 1 or 2 wives in the entirety of my career, but I've represented over 20-25 husbands, right? Every single time a complaint comes to me wherein the wife says, this and this happened to me.
Right.
It almost feels like a performa template. Okay. The only things that change are the names of the parties, the dates that they got married, and the children that they have, right? And maybe they kind of adjusted to the timeline of this thing. Maybe if we were in the US at that particular point of time, this thing happened, right? But in terms of the allegations, it is almost a very well-known thing in the legal community, in even the judicial community. The allegations are almost similar, right? We never know what the truth is, but in all likelihood, the way we read these lines, we know for a fact that these are just copy-pasted from one allegation to another, from one complaint to another. So there will always be, my husband on the night of the honeymoon, drank a lot and forced himself on me, or maybe asked me, which number am I? To suggest maybe she's a virgin or not, right?
Okay.
That's one allegation which is always there. Another allegation which is always there is, my mother-in-law, if you're living in the same house, my mother-in-law would not give me food, would make me cook and clean the entire day.
Right.
But like the best of them, the cream of the cake every single time is my father-in-law used to stare at me when I used to breastfeed the child, and when I would object, he would say it is completely natural. What's the problem with that? On top of that, there'll be a lot of allegations of the father-in-law misbehaving, maybe molesting the wife in private. Makes me think that almost every single father-in-law out there, is like a molester. Absolutely, man. I mean, I myself, I can imagine myself,
doing this,
the age of 60, being having a couple of children, having my bahu come and say, father-in-law, matlab, like, Sasur ji ne chheda. I'd be like, I'm looking forward to those days so I can laugh and say, what, I've done 50 of these. I know exactly what lines are going to come.
Right. But this thing, so these kind of scenarios happen more in arranged marriage or with love marriages as well.
There is an equal propensity.
And at the same time, like, there are these nexuses going around of these arranged marriage things, shadi.com वगैरह पे, where let's say an NRI dude comes into India, is looking for a girl to get married to, gets married to her. After some time, she's like, my husband raped me, my father-in-law also raped me. And I've had clients who've gone through this stuff as well and who have worked very closely with all this, and they've had huge trauma, like things like this haven't happened. And I've heard so much about it. So I almost feel like it's a nexus. And this thing is that, specifically with that documentary, that Tinder wala documentary that came out, Jaipur wala.
With the woman,
Usme also she was like, the woman who killed that guy had done these things so many times before.
So many times.
30 times. So these are like nexuses which are happening out here on fucking Tinder and all these things. So is this true? How much does it happen? And what is the percentage of this happening with like a love marriage and like an arranged marriage, and the difference between these things?
To be honest, statistically speaking, I have dealt with a lot of love marriages. I've also dealt with a lot of arranged marriages.
Right.
I have not really seen any difference between the two when it comes to the wife coming and hurling false allegations. And there is no nexus whatsoever. Okay. So you cannot say that if you have a love marriage, it's going to be safer. You cannot say that if you have an arranged marriage, it's going to be safer. Right. All those preconceived notions that we had, on the data that our parents used to have and their parents used to have, all that has gone for a toss. Right now, it's open season.
But then, love marriage is like if I'm dating a girl for 3 years
Yeah.
versus me meeting a girl within a month on like an online thing website, the probability is still more with the online thing happening, na?
Indeed. So logically it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But the other problem is, so if you're asking me about specifically in case, you know, the woman deliberately while getting married plans all of these things,
exactly.
then yes, indeed, in an
Yeah.
arranged marriage or in maybe a love marriage where, you know, it has just been
A
like
month or
maybe
two.
2-3 months or
Okay.
4 months that the guy knows each
Right.
other. You meet the girl, you spend 2 months, you say she's the perfect one for you. I warn you on phone saying, you know, just like reconsider this thing, take all these precautions. You say, no bro, it's all cool. It's taken care of. And then she slaps you with all these cases and you're running around the entire country trying to just get this nonsense sorted out.
And then with this Tinder thing also, the only way that dude got fucked was because he had faked his Mercedes pictures on his profile, and she thought he was a easy fish to catch and he's a big fish. Turns out he didn't have any money.
Yeah.
So flaunting this, like I always say people like, you know, stop flaunting your money and everything, and like rather than if you know how to talk to a girl, that's going to be much better than you trying to flaunt things in false, because then you become more of a target. So I've had a friend from school, okay, he has a lot of money, he is very well off, he comes from one of very powerful families in India, in Delhi, everywhere, but he doesn't flaunt his money. He comes with a basic car. And so many times I've spoken to him and he's like, bro, I don't want to get a girl on, you know, just because of my money. And so I'm not going to flaunt my money. So comes with the basic, like he can come with like a sports car, but he's like, nahin, bro, chota sa gaadi rakhte hain, and that stuff. And he does that specifically.
Yeah.
And people like him, like we didn't even know. Like, he's like, and he's like very down to earth and everything.
Exactly. That's the same case with me as well. मतलब इसी डर की वजह से I drive this basic small car, you know, सस्ती car. नहीं तो मैं भी कब की मतलब BMW 7 Series or, you know, maybe that Mercedes S-Class, you know, like zooming around the town, wearing those like fancy Louis Vuitton, you know, glasses, you know, and just like being like out there, you know, doing that, living up life. इस डर की वजह से नहीं करता हूँ मैं कुछ ऐसा.
Sahi hai. So what are the, abhi bata, let's say I'm dating a girl.
Yeah.
Okay. And I mean,
my goodness, I'm a lawyer, you know, I'm supposed to be serious about this stuff.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
So if I'm dating a girl and like, I mean, like you were just telling me before, but like this has never happened with me. This never happened with anyone that I have, you know, met or coached or anything. Is that, you know, like when you date a girl and after that, but these things I've read about in the newspaper. That is like they're dating, but then they don't. The guy is like, I'm not gonna get married or something like that. And the girl is like, he raped me, or you know, under the pretext of marriage. But I think ये law abhi repeal ho gaya na. This law was like, didn't recently the news came out that it's, I mean,
still there.
No, but abhi, what was the news that came out that if I'm dating a girl and I decide to not get married to her, she cannot be like, you know, that he promised marriage to me and now he's refuting
it. So it's a nuanced point. You know, the law still exists. That, you know, basically what happens is the law is very simple. Sexual intercourse without consent of the woman amounts to rape, right?
Right.
Now, on that, there is another provision in the same act which says, the Indian Penal Code, which says that any consent which is obtained on fraud or coercion is no consent. Okay. And because of that, courts of law have interpreted this situation where a girl says that I allowed this man or I had sexual intercourse with this man because of the fact that he promised me that he will marry me. And now, you know, he is not ready to marry me. Now, so the consent that was obtained was obtained through fraud or, you know, through coercion. Right? So that is why this situation still remains. The only thing that has changed now is that the Supreme Court and other courts have kind of created this little pocket of hope for men who are accused of these cases, where the Supreme Court says it does not merely because the marriage did not happen or merely at a later stage you changed your mind, does not mean that the consent obtained at the initial stage was obtained through fraud. Right? If you had no possibility of getting married, for example, there was a case which happened recently in which the Supreme Court said, man, you are already married once. Now you tell this other girl, you are dating her, that you intend to marry her.
Oh, right. When
that
is
not
married.
Possible. Indeed. That is not possible. So, you know, no matter what way we look at it, you have definitely induced her, you know, and she did not know about the factum of the marriage, the prior marriage, right? Now, because of this, there is no doubt in our minds that you did indeed obtain her consent through fraud, and that is why you are liable for rape. So those are situations that happen. One very interesting case, you know, on this whole situation of girlfriend, boyfriend and rape is I saw with like this person who came to me for advice, right? So this friend of mine referred me this lady who, you know, lives in another city and who, you know, gave me a call because she was afraid of the consequences of her actions. So what this lady, you know, called me up and told me was that she was in a live-in relationship with her boyfriend for the prior good 4-5 years, right?
Right.
But because of the fact that, you know, for whatever reason, the boyfriend bailed. And the way he bailed was he took her puppy, which was their puppy, right? And
कुत्ता ले गया.
कुत्ता ले गया, right? और थोड़ा सा सामान भी ले गया. And he just ran away. No call, no message, no parting, goodbyes, no nothing, right? And of course, I mean, you know, we can imagine how heartbroken she must have been, right? But on that, like, you know, on that heartbroken experience, the lady goes up to the police station, files a complaint under section 376, saying, "Mere saath to rape hua hai." Right? Now, the man, the poor, I mean, you know, I don't know how bad I feel for the guy, but the guy did have to spend substantial amounts of money securing anticipatory bail, not from the Sessions Court, which rejected his anticipatory bail, but from the High Court of that particular state, where he had to go and obtain, you know, anticipatory bail. Now, this woman calls me up and says, now this man has got an anticipatory bail. I know and he knows that the allegation that I have put on him, that is of rape, is a completely false and frivolous one.
Got it.
So now she is afraid of, you know, what is going to happen to her when the trial happens and when the man is ultimately acquitted. That is what she was afraid of, and that's why she called me up for my, you know, legal advice. And now I definitely feel sad about the fact that I had to tell her that the way the Indian criminal justice system is, even if he gets acquitted, even if he chooses to file a case against you, a counter case against you for giving false evidence, for, you know, initiating false legal cases, the court will say, although we acquitted the man because prosecution could not prove beyond reasonable doubt his guilt, similarly, we will not convict the woman until there is proof beyond reasonable doubt, which never happens, because in a relationship or between any, you know, encounter of romance or of, you know, sexual intercourse between two persons, it is always behind closed doors, and it is always the whole thing of he said and she said.
She said, yeah. So nothing can be proven and facts वगैरह बाहर आएंगे ही नहीं कभी.
Indeed. And it is also very sad because in, you know, genuine cases where women are actually forced upon, right? Even in those cases, the man goes scot-free. The man who should go to jail, spend that time, also gets to go, you know, scot-free.
So with these cases of domestic violence and marital rape, so can it be proven?
So what is the thing with them? Marital rape anyways in India is not an offense because of the fact that, you know, the legislature says, and I to a good extent agree with them, that, you know, the problem with marital rape offenses that, again, this whole thing happens behind closed doors, and when a woman goes into the police and says, this man raped me, how do they know for sure, right? In any other rape case, there will be, you know, a lot of evidence. There will be the factum of intercourse. There will be proximity to each other, which otherwise cannot be explained. There will be semen samples. There will be the investigation of the vagina of the woman, where they will inspect and see, okay, you know, was there forceful entry or not? But all of those things go out for a toss when we talk about marital rape. Because the woman could very well say that I had consensual sex with my husband yesterday, but today my husband raped me. So, you know, the husband to go to jail for that act, and, you know, to again, and at the end of it all, no proof comes out, he comes out acquitted, but his life is definitely ruined. One thing that the law does provide for is that if a man and a woman are separated, if the husband and wife are separated, and while living in separation, the husband commits rape on her, then the husband is, you know,
liable.
Guilty. Yes. Okay. But not of rape, but of an offense of, you know, having forceful sexual intercourse with the wife, which carries with it a lower penalty, but is still a punishable offense.
Right. And so, let's talk about domestic violence thoda, because we have all these things where people go crazy and just to prove the masculinity, they hit the girl. Even in marriage or even while they're dating a girl, maybe in a live-in or something like that normally. And people have said things like, you know, ye to aise karenge hi and this and that. Yeah. Which is not, I mean, which is not the right way to go about it. So anything about that, like, can that be proven? Like domestic violence?
I mean, you know, first and foremost, let's forget about, you know, proof or not.
Right.
I mean, the first thing that we should talk about
something be happened?
We should not be doing it.
Exactly.
Right? We should not be doing it.
No, I'm saying, can something be happened from the girl's side, and will the law support her into this kind of like protecting her from this kind of a man? वो.
Indeed. So again, with all of these situations, the same thing that happens is when the thing has actually not happened. If it's a false case, it's going to be very difficult for the girl to prove it. However, there have been situations where it is because the law does not say give us proof. When in a court of law, even the statement of the complainant witness, that is in these situations the girl, is enough to ensure a conviction for a person. But what happens usually a lot of times is that the girl will come up with some cooked up story, and this is exactly what happened in Sarvjeet's case as well.
Achha.
Because it is a cooked up story, there will be a lot of material inconsistencies in the story, because of which the court will say there are inconsistencies, the story of this witness is not believable, that is why we acquit.
But what if it's true?
So if it is true, I say go to jail, man. Serve the sentence for the thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
And which brings us to the the more important point.
So firstly, they should not be doing it because it's how much is it punishable if you hit someone? What is the offense?
So
for
the
that?
offense of merely hitting someone without there being any grievous injury is now I don't even remember. 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, something.
ठीक है, but
Section
if
323 of the Indian.
यार मैंने वो
Penal
movie
Code
देखी
calls
Secret
it-
Superstar. Have you seen Secret Superstar?
I have not seen Secret
So I mean,
Superstar.
basically the dude hits his wife, पूरा मुक्के वुक्के मार के with like blue eyes and खून ही खून and everything.
Yeah.
And those kind of things have also been happening, which is a very dysfunctional relationship now.
Indeed.
The more I've been reading about inner child healing, the more like if it's a normal relationship, then it's easier to get out of. But if it's a marriage and everything and it's a traditional thing, conservative value, so I can sort of understand that you can't really get out of it. But by the end of the movie, like she finds the courage for her kids and gets out of it, which is beautiful, like amazing movie. But then the thing is that sometimes, like if it's a relationship and she's not getting out of it, it's like we want that drama in our life so many times. So I mean that's just very fucked up. Like I mean if you're a guy who is so not only girls, bro, even guys. I was talking to this guy. And he was like, bro, my girlfriend hits me.
Yeah.
His girlfriend hits him and he's so emasculated. She talks to him, like she talks down at him. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? You can't do anything. Go do this, take out the trash. Go buy this stuff. There se do kaam nahi hote. Right, all that stuff. And he's still not getting out of the relationship. He's talking to me and I'm like, bro, get out of the relationship. He's like, bro, I really want to. I don't know what to do. She broke up with him. She's having sex with another guy. She's almost getting into a relation with another guy. But still, he's after her. So I mean, in this case, it's not so much that the girl is only doing something. He's putting himself in the situation again and again and again and again to be taken advantage of.
So I can relate.
Bar, bro.
I can relate to that quite a lot. Because
and this happened 2017, bro. 2017, abhi 2019 was it's like 6 months into, me starting to coach. And I was just stunned. I was like, bro. And he's like, bro, what do I do? I was like, get out. He's like, bro, I mean, I can't, I really miss her and this and that. Main roye ja raha hu, bro. He's calling me and crying. I'm like, bro, see, first of all, I mean, get this done. So, I told him everything, explained him the first time. Everything is fine. Later on, calls me again after a week and he's like, bro, this is happening. I was like, why haven't you left yet? Then after that, I stopped talking to him. I'm like, this guy is just stuck in that victim mentality, or he's just stuck in that drama thing where his own self-worth is that, I am not good enough. And he must have seen in his household his mother emasculating his father, and he must have picked up, and then in his mind the thing would have been that a relationship is where a man gets emasculated, and that's something that happens subconsciously. Okay, and we cannot get into a lot of details of this. I mean, I should be, because like
So let me ask you a question about
काफी लोगों के लिए अभी this would be very like shocking कि what the fuck is he talking about?
That's all right. I mean, we're trying to kind of like explore these horizons.
Right.
So let me ask you a question. Was there any sort of physical proximity between the boy and the girl?
They were in a live-in relationship.
They were in a live-in relationship.
They were in a live-in
That's the
relationship.
problem.
They were living together. She was emasculating him, hitting him, bro, slapping him. Girl slapping and punching you, oh my god, and even then you don't want to get out of that relationship.
I'll tell you what happened.
Shit.
I'll tell you my perspective because of the fact that I faced a very similar situation
Right.
several years ago. Right? I was, in a very, very toxic relationship. But the biggest reason why I was also not able to get out of that bad relationship for several months was because of the fact that the girl and I had a very close proximity.
Yeah.
Physical proximity, because of which we were not able to separate ourselves.
Right. Also, I think two things, bro, that come into play from a game perspective, from a dating perspective. One is investment, because you're so invested in that relationship, let's say 6 months, 8 months, and I'm pretty sure this hitting and everything doesn't start the first day. It starts 6 months, a year down the line, and that's when you're so invested. And secondly, it comes because you're in scarcity. You do not feel that, once you break up with the girl, you feel that you will not be able to find anyone else like that.
Yeah.
And if our self-worth, so basically bringing it down to self-worth, it's like if I believe that I'm a person who is not man enough, quote unquote man enough, who cannot take care of, who cannot lead in a relationship, and I'm a piece of shit, I'm going to be slapped, then I'm always going to be getting into that relationship. So that core assumption, the core belief about myself and my own identity needs to be worked on before getting into a relationship. And it's like attracts like. The only thing why a woman would attract that kind of a man and a man would attract that kind of a woman is because it's mutually just like, it's like a dovetail thing, bro. It just fits in properly like this, and they complete each other literally. And this is so shit, like this line only, you complete me, from Jerry Maguire, that people have been talking about. I think kafi shit. I mean, what the fuck is you complete me? And me personally, I've never been in this kind of shit, bro. I take no drama at all, and which is why I don't have people around me with drama.
Yeah.
Right. And even if if there's a girl who's very negative and she's got drama with her, she's not gonna show it the first time.
Yeah.
The first time it's just like first couple of times it's gonna be fun. As soon as I send something, I'm just like, because I do not let her do that drama. She does not get that hit of the drama thing, and she either leaves, or I leave, or just mutually we leave. We're like, oh, this is not happening. I'm like, drama, what the fuck it, dude. Like, I've hated this thing. Like, I used to see my mom watching these serials and everything. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, I don't want to see this. So I absolutely abhor it. So मेरे को तो कभी नहीं मिलता ये सब.
I have tried to improve. I mean, I've tried to be a better man. And that's all I can say,
Right.
Path to becoming a better man.
Yeah.
Just yesterday, I got a call from this girl who told me that her boyfriend, hit her. First, he hit her. Then when she said that it is over, he cut his own hand with a glass. And then she tells me that, I mean, she did not say it specifically that this showed me that he loves me so much. Yeah. But she tells me that after he cut himself with a glass, I calmed him down. Then I cooked food for him. Right? So this is the kind of, toxic, poisonous behavior that people indulge in. I mean, of course, like the biggest factors are scarcity and investment, right? And
inner work bhi to nahi hua hai, mainly. The inner work, like your childhood trauma and all this relationship ka stuff. Like, basically, when we're small, just like summarizing this part so we don't get deeper into it, 2 mahine baad iske baare mein baat karenge. So much trauma. So it's like, bro, when we're at the age of 3 or something, that's when our sexual body starts to develop. We start having sexual urges at the age of 3. Then our parents are a role models for a relationship, a male-female relationship. The relationship that we see between a father and mother is what we're going to grow up to be mostly. That's the relationship we're going to have. Okay? If I'm a boy, I'm going to look at my father, and subconsciously I'm going to internalize that this is how relationship should be, because that becomes my barometer, that becomes my mark ki acha aisa hota hai. Yeah. If you're a girl, whatever your mother has a relationship with the father, maybe she's more emasculating, or maybe she's the more submissive one, or maybe she's the one who lets the trauma be inflicted on her. You're going to grow up to be like that. And if like so many times it happens, like, people say, like women say that, why do I always attract these kind of unavailable men? Okay,
because that's what you are, honey. That's what you are.
Men say this, or men bhi yahi bolte hain pure time. I always attract these girls who are always cheating on me. Yeah. Girls say that men always cheat on me. Men are like, these women you cannot be trusted and this and that, and red pill, bro. We don't want girls and shit. Like, fuck, dude. A lot of people unsubscribe karne wale. Oh shit, we thought shit was red pill. No fucking red pill shit. Women are amazing. We're amazing. Dovetail karenge, bahut sahi rahega. Most of this red pill shit is also very like, bro.
Very, very poisonous.
Inner child healing do yaar, inko trauma healing pe aao guys. Just tell me that if a guy hits a girl, okay, and in a marriage only he hits a girl and she has all this bloody thing, wo kitne time ke liye jail ja sakta hai?
1 year.
1 year? Okay, 1 year.
ठीक है.
Right.
So
and one more thing. Let's talk about अगर हम marriage की बात कर रहे हैं तो.
So I just wanted to say simple hurt, 1 year. Where there is no grievous hurt. Grievous hurt, there is a list of these, situations where broken bones, hearing loss, vision loss, cuts, anything which makes you, stay in a hospital for over 21 days. All of that counts to grievous hurt. And for that, the imprisonment goes up to 7 years. बहुत सही. ठीक है, great. Now, let's talk about divorce in marriage, yaar. So, why do I have to give up so much of my money when there's a divorce happening? Also, one more thing. Let's say I'm the man and you're the woman. Yeah. Okay, we'll get married. You earn 1 lakh rupees a month. Yeah. I earn 20,000 a month. Yeah. Okay, even then, do I have to pay you more or you have to pay me back? So in this particular scenario, if we just go, I mean, if both parties are true and fair and honest with each other and before the court of law, right? Where I'm saying I'm being the wife, I'm earning 1 lakh rupees and you're earning 20,000 rupees being the man, you do not have to pay me any money. Okay. Cool. So for the audience, if people are married, once you get into a divorce,
it's mostly that the man has to pay alimony, which is what do you call
maintenance. They call it
Maintenance. Yeah, maintenance.
And alimony, which is also there, but like
Right.
after separation. Yeah.
So the man has to pay maintenance for the woman, ठीक है, for a particular period of time. Secondly, one thing happens is the custody of the children mostly go towards women.
The woman, yeah. So I'll give you like a very brief description of
ठीक है, इसको
whatever
brief
happens in
करते हैं.
yeah. So in brief, in a matrimonial dispute, what happens is, you know, and this is, I call it a package deal, you know, like one of those like vacation packages. That's what lawyers offer as a package deal towards all the women who go to them, right?
Right.
And this is exactly.
आपको ये भी दिलाएंगे, आपको ये भी दिलाएंगे.
Absolutely.
आपको कुत्ता भी दिलाएंगे. कुत्ता भी ले जाओ आप.
कुत्ता ले गया. So the first thing that happens, the husband and the wife are living, you know, or they're living together, right? Now because of whatever spat, the woman leaves and goes back to her parents' house, says, you know, maybe just for a few days or whatever. The husband says it's all right, let her cool it off, right?
Yeah.
And this is what used to happen all the time. Like, I mean, you know, I hear these stories about my parents, my grandparents and their parents, where they say that...
But then,
Baba,
the social stigma bhi to hota tha.
Absolutely.
So women weren't empowered to get out of a
Yes.
dysfunctional marriage like this, yaar.
Absolutely. So my mother tells me that, you know, if any girl from her house, right, there were 6 sisters, if any girl from her house would go back to her parents' house, the parents' house would say, okay, you stay here for 2 days, now back to your matrimonial house, we don't give a damn, right?
And that should be there also, because I believe not even men, not even women, men as well should not be staying in their fucking parents' house और बाप का लेके नहीं खाना चाहिए.
Yeah.
Get out. Start earning your own thing. You should not be a liability over anyone. So of course, if parents are like, यार इसको पढ़ा लिखा दिया, dowry दे दी हमने, she's gone. Why the fuck is she coming back, dude? 20 साल 21 साल इसको पढ़ाया. We want to live our own lives, and that should happen with men also. Like, dude, तेरे को बड़ा कर दिया, ये सब कर दिया, तेरे को business setup करा दिया, something like that. Fuck off, dude. Till the time we don't want him to be here, and or you know, which happens most of the times. Everybody who starts to earn gives a part of his salary into the household maintenance.
Yeah.
That makes sense if you're staying with your parents. If you're not, fuck off.
Yeah. So, you know, what happens is that the wife, you know, in the meantime goes to her parents' house and she says that, I had this little dispute with my husband, what should I do, right? So the first thing that lawyers will say is, let me draft this criminal complaint for you. And when, you know, they face this criminal complaint, they will come, like, you know, the other side, the entire family of the boy will come on their knees and they will beg you and they will ask you for forgiveness, right? But the problem is that the lawyer also knows what is going to happen is that the moment this criminal complaint actually reaches the boy and his family and all the allegations which are there, the cooked up stories that are there, it becomes very difficult for them to also accept the girl back into the house.
Of course.
So lawyers know that it's a very good deal, that the law is such women were victimized for several centuries. Now because of that, we have a strong law protecting women.
So lawyer haram khor hai matlab, man.
Absolutely, right? But indeed, like, you know, it's a very good way for lawyers to make money. But in the process, they ruin the, you know, the entire, you know, system. So much so that even I am afraid of ever getting married, you know. I mean, the
dark vibe ho gayi hai yahan pe.
First thing that I wonder is, you know, if I get married, what's going to happen, right? But in any case, I'll keep it short and simple. What happens is that, you know, all of these cases are filed together as a package deal. What happens is there will be a criminal complaint where the wife alleges that cruelty was meted out to her, that, you know, all her jewelry and all the articles that, you know, she got into the house, they were taken away from her.
Right.
She'll also allege that a lot of dowry was demanded. When she did not pay it, she was beaten up, she was, you know, starved, and, you know, she was like constantly taunted. Those are sections 498A, 406 of the Indian Penal Code. Apart from that, there will be more enterprising women who will go ahead with certain other things. They will say that he beat me up. So that is 323.
And the father-in-law also beat me up.
The father-in-law molested me. That is section 354, molestation. Even more further enterprising and informed women, or women who have a very good lawyer, and this is what I've seen a bunch of times, is the woman will say that, you know what section 377 is?
Yeah, I mean, fellatio. You can't indulge in fellatio, anal sex, gay and everything.
So women, you know, more enterprising women say that, you know, an unnatural offense against the carnal course of nature has been committed against me. In what way? As you said, fellatio, or, you know,
fellatio is a blowjob.
Yeah. Blowjob.
Or anal sex.
Or anal sex.
You can't see, blowjobs are illegal, alright? And you can't do the anal sex is illegal. At the same time, 25 ki age mein you need to start drinking. What the fuck is happening? 25 ki age mein people quit drinking. And fellatio, I mean, I have to never indulge in fellatio, you know.
Indeed. No, but
मैं तो law follow करता हूँ.
The fact of the matter is that in the Naz Foundation case decided by the Supreme Court, at the end of it, they said that in any...
But ये repeal नहीं हुआ क्या? Homosexuality is repealed, fellatio is not repealed?
No. So basically what is happening is, so just to kind of, give a little more rights to human beings, they said that 377 is not repealed in entirety because 377 also entails bestiality. Anyways, 377, there is also the aspect of bestiality, but the Supreme Court said, we'll keep that, but 370, and they also said that 377 is also a punishable offense if there is no consent, right? So if there is no consent between, say, a man and a man, right? So then again, 377 is there, right? 377 is there because a man cannot be raped. Legally, a man cannot be raped.
Oh.
That is why 377 is needed still, right? So if there is someone who forces himself upon you as a man, if you're a man, right? Then you can still avail of 377. Even if you say that as a man, imagine a very painful scenario where you come into the situation where you're a man and a man forces you to perform fellatio on the man, right? So if 377 was still not there, the only thing that would come would be perhaps 323, which is simple hurt. 1 year of imprisonment.
So अब अगर इसमें fellatio वाला फंसेगा तो कितने साल के लिए फंसेगा?
So fellatio or this thing, it is, I believe it is 10 years. I mean, I keep forgetting. They keep enhancing all these punishments and they keep going back and forth.
I just want like a basic thing. We don't want to get into details out here anyway. So मेरे lawyer का काम है.
Package law.
Amish Aggarwala.
Yes. Package deal. Package deal is these offences. Then there is the
377 father के मांग बोला, father-in-law वो सारा plus 377.
All of those are criminal cases, right? Apart from that, there is also an application made under the Domestic Violence Act where a person says that I have been a victim of domestic violence and therefore I should be given compensation by the people who have committed domestic violence upon me. So उसमें आ गया husband का father, husband की mother, husband की sister if the sister also lives over there. Apart from that, there will be an application under section 125 of the Criminal Procedure Code where the wife asks for maintenance from the husband saying I cannot maintain myself, so you will have to give me maintenance. And as you said, it is not for a short period of time. It is indefinite. Even if the parties get divorced, right? Unless there is an agreement, a settlement as to the maintenance aspect, the husband is supposed to pay the wife forever, right? Sometimes I have, like husbands who come to me and say, okay, like I have this case going on. Now please get me a divorce because, I want to move on with my life. And I ask them, what do you mean by moving on with your life? And they say, I have to get married again. And I shake my head. I'm like, dude, you're already paying maintenance to this one woman. If she does not get married again, you will have to keep paying her maintenance even if you get married to the second woman. And just imagine, you've already played this one, like inning where you're paying maintenance to one wife. You do not want to be like in one of those like sitcom kind of scenarios where you're paying maintenance to two wives. Two wives and
Candy and Judith फंसे हुए हैं.
Candy.
Alan. But okay, this is gone. मैं बताऊँ realistically.
Okay.
I mean, realistically, these things don't happen if you heal yourself.
You can take certain precautions, okay?
Heal yourself, meet a girl who's sorted herself, जो educated है, ढंग से है, ठीक ठाक सी है.
I mean,
quality, and then these things don't happen, yaar. I mean, and if you're dating a girl who's like quality, why would she want to do that? You come under the other. So if we start believing now this might get a lot of people paranoid that this is going to happen with me. I'm not going to get married. The thing is that the more you believe this is going to happen, it's going to happen with you. Yeah. Okay. But now this is where the problem is. So if you not even the law of attraction shit here. The thing is that if I believe that the world is a safe place to be in, I'm going to be more happy and everything and attract the same kind of people there. Okay, because those are the people who will be able to take my energy or just spend time with me. And because that is there, just sorted here. And so me personally, if I were to ever get married, it's going to be minimum 3 years of a live-in relationship first and then getting married. Maybe dating for a year, then 3 years of living and then getting married, so that I know the girl properly and I like her and family side se scene sab kuch sorted hai. But even before doing that, I'm going to heal myself first and then see if I'm not attracting that kind of a people. And why, the main question is, why would I stay in a toxic fucking relationship? Ab agar 3 saal ye hua and then even I get married and we really like love each other, then I don't believe the girl is gonna try to trick me into this and so many problems. Now coming to the part, let's say, about the scenario of, let's say the girl is earning 1 lakh a month, even I'm earning 1 lakh a month, or 20,000 a month, or I'm earning more than the girl. तीनों scenario ले लेते हैं. Do I still need to pay maintenance? And what if, mostly ऐसा भी तो होता होगा. I meet a girl and we mutually decide to uncouple. जो conscious uncoupling चल रहा है आजकल, Neil Strauss and वो Vishen Lakshani, same thing, right? Consciously you uncouple. And properly you divide everything between yourself and everything, right? But if it's like the woman hasn't worked anything, even then she'd want to get divided and everything.
So the law regarding maintenance and alimony has always been on the premise that the man has been the worker and the woman has been the homemaker. Right.
But if both of them are working, so we'll take three scenarios. One, she's working, earning more, 5x more than me. Second, both of us are earning the same amount. Third, I'm earning more and she's not earning. Or maybe she's earning but lesser.
None of these things are, we don't need to go into any of these aspects.
ठीक है.
The only state where you need to go into these aspects is the state of Goa, where the uniform civil code set by the Portuguese is there, where whatever, I have a very vague idea of it. I don't have very I've not really read the Portuguese law that Goa has regarding matrimony. But apart from that, across the country, what happens is that the only situation a wife gets anything from the husband is if she is not earning at all or she is earning very little, and criteria has always been what was the standard of living for the wife and the husband and the wife were living together. No.
Okay.
So even if she came from abject poverty and now she's living in a palace with the husband, the husband bounces out or kicks her out, the court says that she is entitled to the same standard of living. The same goes for the wife, the same goes for the children. They are entitled to the same standard of living as they were during the time parties were living together.
Now, if it's the woman's house, she's earning more, she's in a better financial position than me, she's more successful financially, career-wise, and let's say I am earning lesser. All right. Or maybe I'm a stay-at-home dad taking care of the kids. Us scenario mein, will I be getting any maintenance? Okay, I will.
You can also move the court under the Hindu Marriage Act, seeking maintenance for yourself in case you're not able to maintain yourself.
Right.
So the law, the legislation has tried to kind of be a little fair towards everyone to the best possible extent.
Great.
But a big problem is that most husbands even don't know about this provision, right? Most lawyers don't know about this provision of the husband being able to seek maintenance from the wife.
So basically, there are provisions to safeguard us अगर हम ऐसे कर रहे हैं, if we're staying at home. Now, I've had mixed feelings about this over the years, but then now that I've been into spirituality and inner child healing and everything, so there's a thing that women are like, no, I'm not going to stay at home. I'm going to go work. We are as empowered as men to go out and work. When the men are working, why should I be at the mercy of a man? Why should I be staying at home? Alright, but most of the times you have kids and at least in the starting couple of years, you want to stay at home. Either you can work from home or you want to take care of the kids, right? Because it puts a huge impact on the child if both the parents are out there working. It makes the child feel abandoned. You have a lot of self-esteem issues, self-worth issues. A lot of problems happen because at that age, the child cannot understand that my parents are working and it's not because they don't love me. The child internalizes that my parents don't love me, which is why they're leaving. But this makes a lot of women feel that I am at the mercy of the man, that power dynamic is going to shift in his favor, and now I'm not earning money, so there's no worth. To which I have to say that if you feel that someone is earning money and you're taking of the child, them earning money has more value than you taking care of the child, you're fucked in the head anyway. I feel if you're taking care of the child, if I'm taking care of the child and someone else is earning money, if not more, but it's equally valuable. Whereas I would say if I'm taking care of a child, it's much more value than you bringing in money in a marriage wala scenario, even if let's say I'm the man there. But biologically, the child needs the mother more than the child needs the father.
I don't really have very strong opinion about it, but I was listening to Jordan Peterson talking about the fact.
Strong opinion की भी बात नहीं है, but I'm just pointing out this one thing that if there's anyone watching, that it's not lesser if you're taking care of the kid and your man is earning. At the same time, you need to have, if you're marrying a guy, I would think that it's a very functional, a very good relationship that you have where you have mutually decided for the betterment of the kid, one of you will stay home and one of you will work, and still you can love each other for your decisions versus be like, oh my god, you're not the one who's earning money, so I have more power here, right? And then whatever money the guy or the woman is earning, whatever way, you come back home and you divide it properly because it's a joint effort. Right? It's a joint effort. It's not like I'm earning the money, so I'm going to keep the money. So I'm not going to give the woman any money to ghar chalane ke liye or for her jewelry or for the stuff that she wants to do. There should be more of an equal thing, and it should not feel like that the woman is begging. So I mean, if that chemistry is there and that kind of relationship is there, I think it's great. We all of us can come to a conclusion of that. But there's this thing, bro. A lot of people feel like, women were not allowed to work. Now this is against all the men and this. We're going to go out and we're going to show you that we can work as well. Why do you have to try to prove yourself? Why? I mean, why do you have to try to prove yourself? If you want to work, get a man who you can decide with that, they're going to work at that time. And if you're with a man who's not allowing you to work, the family is not allowing you to work, and you want to do that, then it's a very fucked up relationship anyway. Don't get into one.
Good point about women marriage and the workplace, right? So Jordan Peterson says that men and women both, start out with like careers nowadays, right? But it is somewhere around like their late 20s or their early 30s that women understand that, they have a biological clock ticking. And because of that, they understand that having a good career or, having the fastest career growth is not the most important thing. Because society rewards women for having children, whereas society rewards men only for their career pursuits, right?
Well, anyway, I think this is getting into what society and everything thinks. Like, see, me on the channel or my personal beliefs, I don't give a fuck about society. Because society मेरे को reward करे ना करे अपनी माँ चुदा लो. ठीक है? I don't give a fuck. So, and if I'm dating a girl or let's say मेरा personal scene है, I would assume that the girl also does not give a fuck about the society. So if she wants to have kids and stay at home, or she wants to go and work, it's going to be a clear discussion between the husband and the wife. और बाकी society गई भाड़ में और जिसको जो तुम्हें जब करना है, you do it like that. But one, if you're working, don't have kids. If you're having kids, don't work.
Yeah.
That thing, because it does put an impact on the child, specifically in the starting formative years of 7 or something. 7, minimum 7, but having a child is a 21-year-old commitment, pura. And till the time children are grown up, you need to like be present for their growing up years and make sure that they feel love and everything, so that bade hoke unko na wo naturally entrepreneurs and pickup artists and whatever, if they want to do a job or they want to be an actor, whatever they want to do, all that shit is there, and at the end, they can be happy and have a great relationship themselves. But I mean, I don't think we can come ever to a conclusion on should a man work or a woman work or da 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 da. It's basically, घर के बीच की बात है, husband and wife के बीच में. Decide, but at the same time know what effect it's going to have on your child, and then just take your decision. Okay, concluding this whole marriage thing, I want to know that if a man decides to get married, what are the precautions that he can take, or what are the things that he can do to just protect himself from these false cases and all this stuff?
Yeah. So as far as protecting yourself from false cases is concerned,
right,
there is one thing that you can do, and funnily enough, it was a friend of mine go in this direction,
right,
because no one really does this kind of a thing. Because in India, prenuptial agreements, courts of law say, are not valid and binding because they go against the laws of the country, because of which the contract becomes void.
Okay,
right?
Fuck it.
But there are things which you can do. And this is what happened. This friend of mine called me up and said, I'm about to get married now. It's an arranged marriage. She's a wonderful girl, but you never know. So is there something that, both
So it was an arranged marriage, no?
Indeed.
Arranged marriage में तो वैसे भी होना चाहिए यार. Me personally, मैं तो arranged marriage मेरे को बिल्कुल ही पसंद नहीं है. I'm like, this shit should be banned because बहुत problems होती हैं.
Yeah.
At the same time, थोड़ा बहुत सही हो जाता होगा, whatever the fuck. But I don't agree with arranged marriage का scenario anyway. मतलब एक बहन जो लड़की पटानी तो आनी चाहिए यार. तुम्हें कम से कम तुम एक बंदी नहीं पटा सकते to get married to. Like what the fuck, dude? तुम पैदा हो गए हो, तुम बहन जो बड़े हो गए हो, सब कुछ तुम्हारे पेरेंट्स ने करा. अब लड़की भी तुम्हारे पेरेंट्स ही ढूंढ के देंगे. Like
मैं तो बनिया हूँ.
Something, कुछ तो बहन चो, कुछ तो खुद कर लो. ठीक है? So yeah, and हाँ, तुम अपने बच्चों को क्या सिखाओगे how to talk to a girl, तुम्हें खुद ही नहीं आता तो. Like when your son comes up to you and he's like, Dad, girlfriend issues. What the fuck are you going to teach him? Like social skills are fucking important. We're in 21st century right now. These things are fucking important. ये होना चाहिए यार. तो at least इतना तो आना ही चाहिए यार.
Yeah. So on this aspect of, what can
we do?
Safeguard yourself.
Yes. Tips. 5 tips लेते हैं.
5 tips.
5 tips what men can do before getting married. So your friend was asking you.
Yeah. So my friend was asking me about, what can be done, what kind of a document can both parties sign to prevent any sort of false case being filed later on.
Got
so I told him that, prenuptials don't really exist the way that they exist, in the sense that they exist abroad.
Right.
But there are certain things that you can put in a document. And it is, all these experiences from all these false cases that I have dealt with, because of which I know that these are the focal points of a dispute between the parties. Right. For example, one major focal point between the parties is dowry. Whether dowry was demanded, whether dowry was given during the time of the marriage, right? So in her
dowry wasn't taken or demanded.
Indeed, right?
Got it.
So what happens is that the girl in her complaint will say that at first the boy said, we do not want any dowry, but as the marriage was fixed, but after the marriage was fixed and the date of the marriage was about to come up, then around just 2 or 3 days prior, the boy's family came to us and said that give us dowry, otherwise we are cancelling the wedding. And that is why we had to give dowry, right?
Got it.
So in that kind of a circumstance, it is always better if, especially if you have actually not taken any dowry. I'm not saying take dowry and then make the person sign the document, right? But if you have genuinely not taken any dowry, then the other person will also not have a problem saying on paper that no dowry was given, right? So at the time of marriage, just before marriage or just after the marriage, it's kind of a little better to have it just after the marriage or perhaps a little, prior, whatever time is convenient to the parties.
Prior to the marriage would be better, na?
Prior to the marriage,
firstly, don't demand motherfucking dowry, okay? If you're a woman, don't give fucking dowry, find a better man.
Yeah.
If you're a man, bhanchod kaam karo, stop demanding dowry, motherchod kya scene hai?
Yeah.
So get it signed. Firstly, no dowry was given, no dowry was taken.
Yeah.
Done. No dowry was demanded even, nothing. और अपने होशो आवाज में हम बता रहे हैं ये.
Absolutely. The other aspect is jewelry. A major contention of fight between the husband and the wife will be jewelry. And what happens is the wife leaves the matrimonial house along with all her jewelry. But in her complaint to the police, she will say that all of these jewelry articles which were there at the time of marriage, my in-laws took the jewelry from me at the very first instance.
Right.
And because of that, my jewelry is still with them.
Oh.
She takes the jewelry and then she asks for, the jewelry back.
और वो ऐसे भी बोल सकते हैं कि double the amount of jewelry थी जितनी.
Indeed.
मान ले 100 रुपए की jewelry बोलेगी 500 रुपए की गई.
Happens a lot of times, right? For to deal with that as well, the party should fix that this is the jewelry that was actually brought in by the girl at the time of marriage. This is the jewelry that we are bringing in. This is the jewelry that the boy is bringing in and gifting to the girl, so that the girl cannot say that this is all the jewelry that I brought. Because in one particular case, what I know is that the girl was not of a lot of means, right? And what happened is that the boy's family were quite affluent, so they said that we will give the jewelry and you can show that this is the jewelry that you have brought.
Right.
Now she takes the jewelry from the in-laws at the first instance, then she goes to then she takes the jewelry with her when she is leaving, and then on top of that she says that I brought in this jewelry and they have kept it.
Right.
Not one, not two, but triple whammy, right?
Right.
So that's another aspect that you have to kind of be very careful about, right? Another third thing is the employment of the girl, right? What kind of a job she was having, because this is what happens on a lot of cases that I have come across. This
is for maintenance and alimony.
Yes.
Okay.
For the purpose of maintenance and alimony, to decide that whether the girl is working, was working, and what are her future prospects. Those are all up for consideration.
Right.
A lot of times, what I have seen happen is that the boy's family says that we do not want, we respect the fact that the girl is working, but we do not want a working girl. To which a lot of girls and a lot of girls' families say we have no difficulty with the girl not working after marriage, right? But in their complaints, what they will say is that I was earning as XYZ position and earning a salary of 1, 2, 3 before marriage. And just before marriage again they made me quit and they put this condition, and after that I was not able to earn any money, right? That is why you should put in the document as well. If the boy's family is insisting that they want this, right? Either you say I have decided to work and the boy's family have no difficulty in me working, right? This should not be that the girl gets pregnant, she leaves the job and then she blames it on the boy, right? Or she herself does not want to work anymore, she leaves the job, again blames it on the boy, right?
Basically whatever has happened वो साफ साफ होना चाहिए from the girl side, from the boy side, to protect, ताकि कोई बाद में जाके झूठ ना बोले. And they can't force you to leave your job also if the in-laws are getting you to quit the job.
Absolutely, because if they make you quit your job, you can always go file a case for maintenance against the husband, saying that
यहाँ बोला था इन्होंने.
Yeah. But that doesn't really have an effect. The girl cannot really enforce that document because anyway she has a lot of remedies in law anyways with her. She doesn't need to go and enforce any of these documents.
But anyway, on a precautionary level, if we get it signed before the marriage, now the in-laws and everyone, they know not to pull any fucked up shit.
It has a little bit of persuasive value.
Right,
for
that's
sure.
what. बस वही. So it's a precautionary measure कि that don't fuck with it because ये यहाँ पे हो गया है. तो अपने दिमाग में जो भी शंका है उसको बजाओ कहीं और जाके.
Yeah.
Got it? Next.
Beneficial. Another aspect of what the parties can come to an agreement is the expenses of the wedding. Right. Because in a false complaint, the girl will say that I was made to spend, 5, 10, 50, 1 crore, whatever amount of money on the wedding, right?
Right.
Also, which I deserve to get the money back, right? But maybe a lot of times what happens is that the girl and the boy decide to mutually pull in the money, right? So whatever has been decided as to, what the approximate expenditure will be and who will bear those expenditures should also be decided between the parties. So if the boy says 50-50 or the boy girl says 50-50, put that in writing. Keep that as 50-50. So basically the gist of all of these is whatever has actually happened on these aspects, just write them down so that there is no chance for a girl who anyways has a lot of power in her hands nowadays to be able to misuse that power. Because if she goes to court, that document might not stand as a full-fledged prenuptial agreement, but she has signed on that document which is also attested by an oath commissioner or has been notarized by a notary. And it is and you can use that document everywhere you go to show that whatever the girl is saying is contrary to what she has signed.
Right. So affidavit जो 10 रुपए वाला आता है notary से stamp करके ना.
Stamp paper is not really necessary, but I mean yes, it's always better to kind of have a stamp paper.
वैसे हो जाता है.
It's very simple. It's like it's not difficult at all.
कई बार ही करा लिया stamp paper तो college का affidavit भी तो file करना होता है stamp paper पे ही कि हम brag नहीं करेंगे किसी को. चलो now, yeah, coming back to the final thing of the approaching laws here in India, where when we are approaching a girl, what are the things that can go wrong? Is it legal? Is it illegal? What are the precautions we can take? And again, not to be too paranoid, because these kind of things have never happened to me or any of my clients ever. But I just wanted to know from a legal standpoint, and I always consult you before putting out a video or how to go about by my affairs here. And I just wanted to see how we can help people out here as well.
Yeah. So if you're asking me, if you're like going and talking to a woman, you're approaching her in a dignified way, in a non-threatening, non-creepy way, it is completely legal. All right. Great. Now the question of what is creepy, what is undignified, the first and foremost thing is keeping a respectful distance from the girl is very important, right?
Great. Body language.
You have spoken in a video about consent and about making the girl feel comfortable. I think I agree with a lot of those points.
Right.
But as far as the practical scenario of what happens when a man goes up to a woman and talks to her, right? The law, especially the investigating officers, the police, the way they look at it is there are certain sections of the Indian Penal Code which are applicable in a situation like this.
Okay.
I will talk about what is actually put in the case, what is actually alleged in the case, and ultimately what actually comes out of it, and what you can do to kind of be out of those, of those boundaries, right? So first talking about, the offenses which are punishable for a man, right? Sexual assault is a punishable offense.
So what is sexual assault? And punishable का मतलब मेरे को जेल होएगी.
Punishable means jail.
और ये bailable है, non-bailable है?
So I'll talk about those as well.
ठीक है, तो चल ठीक है, sexual assault क्या होता है?
Yeah. So first and foremost we'll talk about section 354 of the Indian Penal Code, which is assault on a woman with an intent to outrage her modesty, which is a non-bailable offense, which is a very serious offense. But for that to have occurred, for that offense to be established,
so in layman language, how is sexual assault? क्या होता है basically? क्या किया होगा मैंने कि वो sexual assault
by the Indian Penal Code could be words or gestures, or any other action.
जैसे eve teasing होता है?
So that's a separate thing.
So what kind of words, gestures, actions, sexual remarks?
Sexual colored remarks are also again a separate section.
Okay, so what is assault then?
So if you ask me what is assault, what exactly is there, trust me, the definition keeps changing again and again all the time as well. Alright? The definition of sexual assault, the definition of sexual harassment, the definition of stalking, they're all written in the Indian Penal Code.
Right.
But the problem is the interpretation of what comes under the ambit of that assault, that the harassment, stalking, all of those things. But I have seen
practical example.
Practically speaking, for example, in Sarvjeet's case, there was section 354A, which is sexual harassment, which was done, right? Because there was no word
that
gesture.
That is punishable?
That is of course, that's a bailable offense.
That's a bailable but
yes.
Okay, cool.
All of these offenses are punishable.
ठीक है, नहीं,
it is mentioned as an offense, it is punishable.
Okay, ठीक है, तो चल ठीक सरजीत का कंटिन्यू कर. Then we need to define sexual assault also, ताकि हम पता तो होए कि assault हुआ क्या है, like from a normal perspective, right?
Yeah.
Practical.
Anything that from whatever I have seen you teach your students and from your YouTube videos, there is no sexual assault which ever takes place in your scenario.
क्या है sexual assault? अगर मुझे sexual assault करना है, मैं कैसे करूँगा किसी को?
Okay, so the Indian Penal Code says words, gestures, right? So a prime example would be the crass usage of देगी क्या, चलेगी क्या, हाथ पकड़ा, you grab the bosom or you grab the throat in a threatening way. The statute says these particular offenses are. So if you actually go up to a woman, what are the practical repercussions, the possible, scenarios that you can get into.
Yeah.
A lot of times I have had clients who have, called me up and said, Amish, I am, stuck in this situation where I went and, I liked a girl and I started talking to her and, she felt uncomfortable for whatever reason. And she called the cops, right? Or she went to the nearby cop, or maybe the cops came and asked him as to, do you know this girl and what is going on over here? To that, my reply is always this: tell the police, tell the cop, tell the girl that it is not illegal for you to talk to the girl, right? But the other aspect is that even if the girl feels that an offense has been made out, that she felt sexually harassed, or that she felt that her modesty was outraged by the words that you have spoken, right? The police is very welcome to actually register a case against you. And the reason why I say that is because the police actually do not want to register a case because it is a huge effort for them, right? The girl also similarly does not want to actually go to court and testify against you, but in the heat of the moment and because of the situation in the country and across the world right now, where women have felt subjugated for so many centuries and there are all these, emotions running rampant. Because of that, if a woman in that heat of the moment says that, this man harassed me or this man is troubling me, the police also, to show the girl as well that we are doing our job, right? The police will haul you up, will take you to the police station and then will threaten you. And the reality of the matter is the police do it more often than not just to extort a bribe from you as well.
Right.
So they will keep you, they will threaten you, they will keep you in the jail or in that, in the police station, not jail, the police station for several hours before they are going to allow you to go.
Right.
I say this because this happens not just with, harassment of women, but in most other situations where you have crossed the boundary of the law a little bit.
Right. So basically, practically, if you see a girl get uncomfortable and firstly, we spoke about maintaining distance. Okay, don't get too close to her. If you see her get uncomfortable and stuck and kind of looking here and there and not smiling, plus you're coming with a creepy manner, it's always better to leave. And specifically if she asks you to leave.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes when people approach, they mistake it, like they approach the girl, they start on to her and the girl is like, please can you leave? And they don't leave. So there I've spoken about this in the consent video as well, that if you see a girl, she's laughing and everything, then you can stay, but if she's like, can you please leave? Then you leave.
Absolutely.
Because if you stay then this provision of the sexual harassment is going to be there because she's literally asking you to leave and you're not leaving. Yeah.
But a very practical aspect to all of this is is that if the girl says and the police say that we are going to register a case against you, they think that your biggest fear, they know that your biggest fear is you going to jail and you not knowing what is going to happen at that point of time. So the solution to that is that you tell the cop, you tell the lady as well, all right, if you think that I did harass you, you please feel free to go ahead and register this complaint against me. And I will explain why. Because all of these offenses which you could possibly be charged with, such as sexual harassment, criminal intimidation, words, gestures to insult the modesty of a woman, stalking or any other such situation, apart from sexual assault to outrage the modesty of a woman, which is section 354, right?
And 354A is sexual harassment.
354A is sexual harassment.
Okay.
So 354A, 506, 509 and 354C I believe is stalking. All of these offenses are bailable in nature. The difference between non-bailable and bailable offenses is that when you are arrested in a bailable offense, immediately as a matter of right, you are to be released by the police immediately. All you need to do...
Not even being taken to the police station.
You may have to be taken to the police station, complete the formalities, but you are free to go at that very moment. So what happens is in a bailable offense, the police arrest you on paper and they say that, okay, I am putting you under arrest. Now, because it's a bailable offense, I am granting you bail as well, right? And because of that, the only thing that you need to do is to call a friend or a family member to come and act as surety, who will just say in writing, who will fill out that form saying, I agree to act as surety and I will ensure that if on the future the police or the court calls my friend for whom I stand surety, I will ensure that this person stands there. And I will also have to, if I am accused, I will also have to give this statement in writing that I give an undertaking that I will appear before the police or before the court as and when I am called, right? That's one aspect, bailable offense. Non-bailable offense is an offense.
Isme 506, 509 kya hai?
506 is criminal intimidation and 509 is I believe I'm mixing up. 506 I believe is words or gestures to annoy or insult a woman. Okay. And 509 is criminal intimidation.
So what's criminal intimidation?
Criminal intimidation is intimidation which is of a
मैं मारूंगा तेरे को.
हाँ, even that
धमकाना किसी को is 509.
But a lot of times when these kind of situations occur, there is almost always 506, 509, and depending on the gravity of the offense committed by the man, it could either be 354 or it could be 354A. 354 being the more grave offense, which is also non-bailable, and 354 being the less grave offense, right? The only difficulty is section 354, which is a non-bailable offense. And in a non-bailable offense, if the police arrest you, there is no option for the police to release you on bail. Non-bailable does not mean that you cannot get bail. Non-bailable only means that the police cannot release you on bail, and the only authority that can release you or grant you bail is the requisite court,
or the
which
girl.
will be like no, not the girl either. Not the girl either.
Okay.
The only role of a girl in these situations is to give her complaint.
Yeah.
And that is about it.
Right.
Then the police will take her statement further, and that's the end of the story.
Right.
After which she will
Don't
be called
assault
to
a
court.
girl, yaar.
I mean, that goes without saying.
Don't
right?
assault, harass, leave when you need to leave. Don't come too close, and at the same time, don't be too scared. And just
Sure.
Yeah, very
but
sure.
yeah, so but practically speaking,
Practically,
right? If
yeah,
you
sure.
go, if the police come and accost you and say that, this is what is going to happen with you. We're
Yeah.
going to take you to jail. The girl's going to give her writing. We'll arrest you. We'll put you behind bars. That is just a method of, extracting money from you. Because in these kind of situations where a girl says, I felt uncomfortable, the police really do not want to. It is maybe 1 in 1,000 cases where a police, like a policeman will say, all right, let me register the case, right? Even if they register a case, it's going to be a bailable offense. You're going to be let out immediately, right? And as it happened with Sarvjeet, as happened with like countless other people that I have represented as well, when the matter goes to court, the lies of the girl always come out, especially if it is a false
So
case.
Sarvjeet's was bailable offense?
Because of that he was not arrested.
Right. तो कौन सा उसके 354A था उसका?
So for Sarvjeet it was 354A, 506 and 509.
So
that is what he was charged with. All of
Stalking
them
is
bailable.
354C, na?
No, but he was not charged with
He was
stalking.
not charged
He was
with
not
stalking, right?
stalking. Yeah.
Like, of course. I mean, why would he be charged with stalking?
Yeah.
Anyway,
So yeah, moving
got
on. In this particular kind of situation, the reason for stating all of these things to the police is to show the police that you are literate about the law regarding this particular situation.
Right.
And the moment the police understand that you understand the difference between a bailable and a non-bailable offense. So you tell the police that all of these offenses, any of these offenses that you could list out against me, whether it be sexual harassment or stalking, right, or criminal intimidation, all of them are bailable offenses. So, what is going to happen? You're going to register this case, you're going to let me go. You will have to conduct the entire investigation. And the girl will also have to join investigation in a case which is a frivolous one anyways.
Right.
So, when the police hear this, they understand that this man knows about the law.
Yeah.
So it is not going to be simple as, so simple as to just, get some bribe from this man or to intimidate him or to, kind of frighten him into, giving us more money or giving us a bribe or something like that. The only difficulty is 354 and, if the police want, if the girl wants, right, they can always charge you with 354 immediately and can arrest you and take it forward, right? But the moment you explain to the cops as well, that you could also put me under 354, you could arrest me, but 354 being a minor offense and especially in this kind of a scenario, I will get bail immediately, but again the investigation will have to be done by you. The girl will have to come to court again and again, right? So the girl is there, you tell the girl that okay, whatever, you felt uncomfortable by my approach, I understand that. But you should also understand that if you want to see it through, the police will call you to the police station or the police will come to your house on multiple occasions and take your statement, and then maybe 1 year, maybe 5 years down the line, you will also have to come to court to testify against me, right? And you will also have to stand cross-examination by my lawyer, when you do this. So if it's a false case, so the girl feels a little adventurous, right? Because this is what happens with a lot of
men. In the heat of the moment, it's more just women the girl being like, no, he did this, and you cannot have like this logical conversation with her. Practically, which has happened on boot camps with me. Has happened like this guy approached a girl in a mall, then we changed malls. Next day we changed malls, and the girl was there. He approached her. He didn't realize because pehle when he approached her, she was like, I don't want to talk to you, and he went away. Next time also he approached her, and the girl was like, you've been stalking me. And I was on the second floor, he was on the ground floor, so she was like, no, you come with me. She took him to the guards and everyone something, and she's at the reception demanding. So another student calls me, he's like, bro, come down, this has been happening. So I run, and I'm like, what I say is, it depends on the way you talk also, and it's better to apologize rather than be like, ki ye, tu kya kar sakti hai. Because that's you kind of like challenging the girl. So what I did was I went to the girl. I'm like, hi, excuse me, can you please tell me what happened? Kathy, do you know this guy? I was like, yeah. He's a friend of mine. He's not from here. Even I'm not from here. We were just going here and there. And tell me what's up. She he approached me there. He approached me here. Also, this guy's been stalking me. I'm like, see, it must be a misunderstanding. I'm apologizing on his part. He has not been stalking you. He might have come across as creepy. That's okay, I completely understand that, but I would please beg you to not take this forward, and this will never happen again. I take the surety of that, and so then I try to bond with her also. I was like, what's your name? So she told me her name. I'm like, see, listen, I'm very sorry, my name is Kshitij and this and that. I'm a friend of his and he would never do anything like that. I take guarantee for that. And I was like, bro, please apologize to us. So he apologized as well. And then like the guards were standing right there. And then the guards asked me, kya hua? Do we need to? They were calling the head of security and everything. I was like, nee. I was like, wait 1 minute. Then I was talking. So they're like, आप जानते हो एक दूसरे को? So now I could have been like, नहीं मैं नहीं जानता. But I'm not fucking stupid. I'm like, हाँ मैं जानता हूँ 2 minute रुको, right? So sorted it out, done, and she like, okay, ठीक. I was like, thank you so much, and you know, and then nothing really happened.
Yeah.
So it depends. Like sometimes if the girl is, you did this, like नहीं मैंने तो कुछ करा ही नहीं. Law तो ये कहता है, under the law I can approach you, I can do anything I want. That becomes one of the biggest problems, bro.
Absolutely. So if the police are not involved at that point of time, then it is always better to apologize.
Yes, and sort it out right then and there.
The moment, if you can do that, right? Yeah. A lot of times what happens is the police will show up. Yeah. And then in this kind of a scenario, of course, you start out by saying that I am sorry.
You know, at the same time, even if this has happened here, like, you know, couple of, like, once the security intervened, and he's like, what are you guys doing? The girl is not there. So there is no case anyway. Yeah. But they're like, what are you doing here? You're in a CCTV, वगैरह, scaring him, taking the pictures and being like, we're going to ban you. Yeah. So couple of people were like, हाँ ठीक है हमारी photo ले लो. But they're like, what photo क्यों ले लो? क्या हो रहा है? हम यहाँ पे हमेशा आते रहते. What happened? किसने complain करी? क्या हुआ वगैरह, right? And they're like कि हम यहाँ पे नहीं आएंगे दोबारा. So they're like, दोबारा नहीं आओगे कभी? कहते नहीं आएंगे. Okay, ठीक है जाओ. So only thing they want to know is that you're not going to come here again, because the girl hasn't complained or anything, right? Yeah. Even if the girl complains, if you can sort it out with the girl in like a normal manner, and even when you're talking to the authorities, it makes more sense to, like, I tell people to dress up nicely. Because when I am something like this goes down, I'm going to talk to the person, I'm going to be like, dude, I've got a proper business, I'm an ID, I am graduate, whatever. Most of my clients are graduates and everything, or at least you come from a good background, you're studying and you can talk in English. You can be like, I would never do that. I did not do that. I just said hi. Okay, and if it's the girl, you can just be like, I'm so sorry, I did not mean to come across that way, right? I was just trying to be more social. I've been a very shy guy. I don't know how to talk to people, and which is why I was just trying to get out of this. I realized how on my part it was a grave mistake. I will never do it again. Please do not take this forward. And every time the girl will be like, okay, fine, done. And if you can apologize and your friend can also come in, like if I'm there, I'm going to mitigate, because like people just get so scared. So if you can calm down your nerves and be genuine and not be like, no, I did the right thing, kuch galat nahi hai, the law is not against me, that's stupid. Specifically if there's an angry man involved, like a boyfriend or something. Yeah. Never be like, nahi maine to kuch kara nahi. Just be like, I'm so sorry. And agar beech mein kabhi bhi ho jaye na that he's like, okay, leave. Just leave. Don't try to convince anyone. Don't try to tell the guy or anyone that don't get angry. That's going to make him more angry. Never tell him like, you know, don't get angry and things like that. Be like, okay, I understand, but I did not do anything. If it came across like that, brother, I'm very sorry. I did not want to do that. And I put myself in that situation. I would never want my family members or my girlfriend to go through that. I am very, very sorry, bro. I'm very sorry. I'm not the kind of a guy. Right? And I believe you're also not the kind of a guy. You don't like, do you think I'm the kind of a guy? So if you talk in that manner, the guy's gonna melt down, he's gonna calm down. But if you be like, nahi, maine kuch nahi kara, what's your problem? Who the fuck are you? Right? This is not a problem. Then, like, I mean, this is not an offense, it's not punishable, anything, I didn't do anything, whatever, you do what you want to do. Then you might get into a fight, the guy might just knock you out as well. The securities are going to be against you. Public में भी काफी problem हो सकती है, like ये लड़की छेड़ रहा है, then it can escalate to the cops, and even then a lot of problems can happen. Yeah. So I think अगर पहले ही ठीक हो जाता है, then वो बात आती ही नहीं है. Right?
The advice that I have given is only for the situation when the police does arrive. When the police arrive. And even when the police arrive, what you are saying is the first thing that anyways is the implied thing that needs to be done. Okay. You cannot be on the offensive and say, I have not done anything. Yeah. Let me, prove what you want. I know the law. Don't do any of that. What I am saying is that if, of course, sort it out the way it needs to be done. If the police do show up, right, you first and foremost, you apologize, right? And then you convey to them in the most polite manner anyways. Yeah. Because the police have anyways a lot of power to arrest you, to lock you up for up to 24 hours, even without any reason. So you never want to mess with cops anyways. Yeah, right? Don't act like an entitled fuck. Yeah. What you need to convey is the fact that I am sorry, but I do know about these laws in this way. Right. Because when you mention that, it is at that point of time that the police understand you can't be taken for a ride. And then they let you go. And then, even the girl is made to understand that, if you insist on this complaint being registered, maybe a year or 2 years or 3 years down the line, you'll also have to come to court a bunch of times to testify as well. Right? And there is a small possibility that if that's later. Yeah. When this goes on for like an hour or something, na? Yeah. Then like, I mean, mostly na, the girl and the guy is also like, arey yaar, just let him go. Like, what the fuck, kaun aayega? Oh, chalo off, wahan pe chalo, arey nahi jana, whatever. Then they're like, arey yaar, fuck it. Okay, this happens. But it's like, you need to not try to create an upper hand here. Yeah.
You need to just be like, I'm so sorry. And I think that's it there.
Yeah.
ठीक है? Sorted? Anything else? कुछ और cover करना है हमें?
यार तूने सुशी खिलानी थी यार.
सुशी खा लेते हैं.
तूने बोला
Veg
यार
sushi.
सुशी. तूने सुशी
Veg.
बुला सुशी का बहाना दे के बुला लिया और यहाँ पे खड़ा करा दिया कि भाई
पहले पनीर टिक्का खा के आए हैं अभी.
वीडियो बोलो.
सुशी, वेज सुशी.
Veg sushi.
Veg sushi as per regular. चल ठीक है, let's wind up the video then. Thank you so much, Amish.
My pleasure.
We hope that you continue to do such amazing work where you help people stuck in false cases, not only men but women as well, and you help them bail them out of all that. And Amish has just launched his YouTube channel where on his channel he teaches men the daily day-to-day lives where the law can help you. He's gonna start talking about things like when you're stuck in traffic, or when cops तुम्हें गालियाँ दे रहे हैं, तुम्हें मार रहे हैं, something like that, or if traffic police का वाली क्या problems है, like day-to-day practical scenarios. And he's gonna start to make videos on that. He has a couple of videos on his channel already, so I'm gonna add a link to his channel in the description box below. You can look it up, subscribe to him, watch his videos, and we hope to see him again. Thank you, bro. Cheers. Chalo.